First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com. WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right. You know, normally this holiday time should be really like easy and simplified, less stress. Not for us. We're working hard here. We're the only show in the building. Nobody else is live today. The hell?
I got an update from David.
Okay.
He says 350.
350?
Not 300. 350 for the free money question of the day.
Oh, 350 is what Davey said.
That's what he's saying.
Piece of garbage, said Hobica. All right, let me go to, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the Rosenthal Report.
The Rosenthal Report.
Just sit right back in
You
your
hear
ear.
a tale from Jermey.
There is a little Gilligan to
He'll
that.
give you some advice, but then you'll get a legal fee.
That's so freaking
Man,
funny. Yeah.
I'm going to upload that on my website.
Yeah.
That's good.
Jeremy, it just gets worse and worse.
Every day.
It just does. My apologies. Good
You
morning.
guys are-
Yes.
Good morning. So you're the only ones in the building, right?
We are, yes.
Yeah, that's why we're
Okay.
drinking.
And clearly we're cocktailing. You know that those Tom and Jerry's, if you ever see it's the hot drink that you make, it's got all these ingredients in it, and it's got a lot of brandy and brandy and more. It tastes like candy, but by the time you get through two of them, you're on the floor like melted candy. Yeah, that's what we're drinking.
It is 7:00 Eastern time, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are ahead of me.
We're up and rolling. You know, this wouldn't be the first time I was heading off to a football game and started early, so just no football game. No football game here. All right, let's get rolling with three topics. Let's start with the delayed resentencing of the Menendez brothers. What do you think is going to happen here?
I tell you what. This is a judge who doesn't want to make a decision.
Yeah.
And I think, look, I have a hard time feeling sorry for the Menendez brothers. I really do. But this judge is looking for a way out of this. These murders were so bad. In the coroner put it, the way the coroner said it, I had to write it down. Explosive decapitation with evisceration of the brain. That's what happened to Jose Menendez's head when his son shot it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look, they've got a compelling story. They were sexually abused. That part is becoming more and more apparent. Does that mitigate it enough? I don't know. But what happened here is the judge comes back and says, look, the DA, Gascon, comes out and says, we're recommending partial clemency here.
Yeah.
It's a long story, but we're basically recommending some leniency here. Gascon gets tossed out of office, and his replacement has not taken office yet and won't for another 2 or 3 weeks. And the judge says, well, let's sit back and wait and see what this new guy who campaigned on being meaner on crime, let's see what this guy wants to do.
Yeah, this is not good for the Menendez boys.
Is it possible that this was an election topic, or this was a big subject or reason that voters came out in that race?
That's a big theory. Is that this was for this was a campaign stunt. This was for publicity. Gascon had a lot of problems, and ultimately he lost, and it may have really backfired. But look, this judge doesn't want to lose his job. That's what this is about. And the judge is saying, well, let's let the governor decide. And Gavin Newsom's no idiot. He sees himself in the White House in 4 years. That guy's not about to pardon anybody that's remotely controversial.
Right.
So, so this judge just doesn't want to do it. Which is unfortunate. And if the new DA does come in and also recommend clemency, then the judge is going to say, well, this was the DA's fault. I don't
this.
like that.
This reminds me of Miracle on 34th Street when they came in, and the guy with a big cigar came in and said to the judge, "All the kids are going to hate you, man. What are you thinking?" And he's like, "I don't want to make this decision." I mean, that's really where we are with this. Because I got to tell you, I watched both the drama and the documentary on these kids, and we laughed at them. Obviously, the crime was horrific, and they needed to go to prison. There's no doubt. But we didn't believe in boys being assaulted sexually back then. It was now if these were girls, these were sisters, I think the case would have been completely different. So I do think, and you tell me, Jeremy, you're the legal mind. I do think the sentence and the final conviction would have been different if we accepted their claim that they were, like with hairbrushes and it was an awful sexual assault by the father. I do think we would have looked at it differently, and they wouldn't have they'd be out probably today. Do you agree with that?
That's one of the really big issues here is that this happened in 1989. It didn't happen in 2024. We know a lot more in 2024, and I think that our society has sort of evolved, right? The criminal justice, a lot of the topics have evolved. So that's part of the issue here is sort of, kind of, if you will, transplanting ourselves back in time. And that's sort of what Gascon said is, look, I mean, we've just got to put ourselves in their shoes. And this law about youthful offenders, which allows parole, this is a new law. This is one that happened in 2020 or 2015 or something like that. And so they're retrofitting it. Again, what I see as a judge, he just doesn't want to make a decision. And that always, as a lawyer, that always.
Well, they'll be rioting in the streets if they keep them in jail. There's also a story out there that one has been better behaved than the other. Ooh. One could get released and the other maybe not. Wouldn't that be interesting?
There we go.
Topic.
Let's make a Netflix documentary. Yeah,
I think that's really what we're creating here. Supreme Court rejects tobacco firms' appeal over graphic warnings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of First Amendment issue here. The tobacco industry has always had sort of a voluntary, if you will, prohibition against certain advertising, and it's never been one that I think has had. I don't know. There's been a lot of law with it because again, this was sort of the tobacco companies kind of saying we're not going to have Joe the Camel anymore. You remember that guy?
Yes.
So the fact that these things are so there are First Amendment issues here, right? Anytime you talk about advertising, and a lot of times the Supreme Court is like, yeah, you know what, we're not going to stick our head and get it chopped off here.
Yeah. And then finally, do you have time to do the third one? I know we're over time here.
Let's do it. We'll do it quickly. We're going to do this. Yes.
Disney.
We're going to do this Jim Boeheim style, 20 seconds on the shot clock.
I love it. I love it. Be very monotone, please. Yes. Disney settled suit over women's pay for $43 million. What happened here with Disney?
This is a win for Disney. I mean, they had 9,000 plaintiffs who came and said, you're not paying women equally here. And their lawyers were able to grind out. I mean, $43 million is a lot of money to you and me. But Disney execs lose that in the sofa on a weekend, right?
That's true.
And equal pay is a big topic in the country. Not to shortchange that. They did get some changes. Disney agreed to have some firms come in and audit. This is a win for Disney.
Yeah. Listen, your outro is about 2 minutes long, so we're going to let you go and just play it here. So.
All right, guys.
Thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. There he goes. Jeremy Rosenthal.